Hey, fellow Restopians, welcome back to Restopia. Aloha, stay cool. My little embellishment today is not so little. It's normally up here and much smaller. But today it is a bamboo surfboard, which is actually a serving platter for hors d'oeuvres and canapes. But I'm just going to hang it on the wall as an ornament, or maybe I'll put it in a slight angle with some kind of surfer dude on there if I can find the correct actually, hang on, about this little guy here, about that. Does that work? Yeah, maybe someone a little bit bigger. Yeah, I bought this on a serious note. That was kind of kind of dealing with my emotions, because we all know that the people of Hawaii, especially the island of Hawaii at the moment, Maui in particular, are not having the greatest time. And this is really just, to show some affinity with those guys. I was over there in the state of Hawaii, in Oahu, and Kauai mainly, earlier in the year. I did a video from there, and yeah, they're not having the greatest time at the moment. Basically, I wish you all the best. I'll raise a tin of Longball to you. This is empty, so I won't be drinking anything from it, but I did bring it back because this was the lager that I was drinking in the state of Hawaii, the Kona Brewing Company, when I was there. Yeah, not having a great time. Hope you guys do as well as you can out there. And yeah, peace. So this video was going to be about watch boxes, but a viewer, a subscriber of mine, I think he's a subscriber, I don't actually know, he's definitely a viewer, Simon. How you doing, Simon? Stay cool. Suggested I do a state of the collection video. Effectively, didn't say those exact words, but that's my whole collection, and it's something that let's get a bit boring here in front of the camera, just with my canapé, not canapé server. Let's get some watches in. So here we have he suggested doing a state of the collection video, or just showing my watches, and it's something that I have thought about doing. So we'll start here. This is part one. I'm going to show two watch boxes. I do quite like these Vlando watch boxes. Hold 6 watches, in the sale for £35 on Amazon, £40 when they're not in the sale. I quite like them. I'm not a massive fan of open top. I like them to be closed, although that doesn't work very well with solar watches, of which I have a few. Are any in here? No, not going to be in here. Which I have a few, which kind of need to stay out because I don't really like the internal batteries going dead. The only I've noticed that some of these are cracking. I won't show you it now, but these are cracking here from opening and closing, but I think they'll be fine. I think they'll last, and even if that does snap off at some point, which I'm sure it won't, then it's still, I don't really need to close that. It's just somewhere to hold them. I really like them. So in here, what do we have? We have my Pagani design watches. Now I've purchased 8 of these in total in my life. Here are 6. There's a 7th over there, and I gave one to a friend, because I think individually they're really good value. I quite like them. I bought them for a certain reason. Some of them I bought to see how I liked certain. These are all Rolex homages. But the chronograph, or chronographs, there's one over there. I kind of bought to say I'm not really a chronograph fan. I wanted to see which color I liked, and I also wanted to see whether I could suffer I was trying to get, in a previous video, as I've mentioned, I was trying to get an OP, a blue OP, and I kind of thought, well, would I like a Tiffany blue? I like the idea of it, but I don't would I like to wear that? Anyway, let's go through them and I'll explain a bit more. So first one that I got was the Pagani Design Batman. And I have had a genuine Batman on the channel. If you want to look back at that video, I absolutely, the Batman is a bit of a grail watch for me, the genuine article. And it's basically because of this blue bezel. And that is why I love this Pagani design with the ceramic black blue bezel. And I will be keeping this. I think for about £70, I think I paid for this. It is, it's a lovely watch. I enjoy wearing it. It's very, in a way, it's very, in isolation, it's very similar to the real thing. But if you look at the video that I did, there are some significant differences, obviously, between it and the real thing. But if you're just wearing this, you know, it has that complete feel to it for me. And I love it, and I won't be selling it. This is a keeper. So ceramic bezel, sapphire crystal. I'm not sure what the movement is. It's quite rough, but you know, hey ho, it tells the time, and it looks and feels good. So that's that one. That was the first one that I bought. I'm not sure at which point all these other ones come in, but I'll just go through them in the order that they're there. Have the Daytona homage here, and actually that's the one that I have two of because I purchased this in both. I didn't mean for that to happen. Yeah, the bezel has fallen off of the black one. I will be gluing that back on. Where does it go? 60. I will be gluing that back on. I won't be selling this one. I'll be just, because I have worn this quite a bit. This will be my work quartz watch, I think, once I glue that back on. I bought these to see whether I preferred white or black on a chronograph. I have since bought, and that was not for a Rolex Daytona, that was for a Tudor chrono, Black Bay chrono. Now, I knew that I would prefer the black one, but to be fair, they're a completely different design to these two. The Daytona and the Tudor are completely different designs. The Tudor's only got two subdials, and it's a solid subdial rather than being like a circle, with the color of the dial also in the center of that circle. So I do, and I prefer the black in the Tudor, but I actually do prefer the white in the Daytona. So this little test as to which I preferred wasn't the greatest. So I now have these two for no real. But you know, I liked, you know, for under £100, it's nice getting a watch in the post and trying it out, having a bit of fun. These are all a lot of fun. I'm not going to say they're not, but when you add up what 8 of them cost, or you know, in isolation, they're really good value and fun watches to have and wear. All of them really. Well, apart from a couple. If you pick well, they're nice things to have, but when you have like multiple, you add up what they all cost and then you think, really, was it worth doing that? But anyway, so that's the Pagani Design Daytona, and I did say I was going to do them in order, so that means I'm going to have to do that one next. This was you know, lesson to everyone: do not buy a watch on AliExpress when you've had a few to drink. This was meant to have a black dial. It was meant to be the is it Starbucks? It was meant to be the you know, like black and brown goldy thing with a black dial, but for some reason I did check afterwards. Yeah, I did actually click on the kind of brownie dial by mistake, so I ended up with this, which was not at all what I wanted. I've never worn this. Yeah, but yeah, lesson learned. This I did intend to buy, as I've sort of previously mentioned, because I wanted a Rolex Oyster Perpetual in blue, which I never got, and I had to buy a Grand Seiko. It was for a wedding. Had to buy. Like I needed a watch for a wedding, but that was what I wanted. I wanted a watch for a wedding. I didn't need it. I wanted it. And so I got this to see. At the time, pretty sure they only had the date option, so I bought that one. I'm going to skip a bit actually, because this one, they now actually do the blue, all of the OP lookalikes without the date, with the double batons at 3 o'clock. So that made me buy this one because it had no date and because it was the Tiffany blue dial, which I kind of wanted to see if I would. Let's pop that one on. Let's get one on the wrist at least. I kind of wanted to see how I felt about Tiffany blue as a colour. I thought it was a very interesting Rolex colour when it came out, but I just don't like the colour. It just reminds me of 70s bathroom suites. I just cannot get over that colour. It's just not me. I also do not like the way it has black, I don't know, black markers outside of the indices, whereas the blue one has white, which I much prefer. Obviously, it would be nice without the date wheel, with the white date wheel. Be much better if that was double battens blue. Interestingly, I think this looks very much like the real thing. The sunburst, I'm not adverse to a sunburst dial, but this is kind of overly sunburst. It's just too much, really. I think both on this and the real thing. I don't think they're the nicest blue dial that you can get. Anyway, so that's why I got this one. And then the other one, or the one that's not here, was an Explorer 2, a white dial Explorer 2 that I got, and I really didn't like that. And it kind of just highlighted the fact that I actually don't like the real Explorer 2. It's probably one of my least favourite Rolexes. But the Pagani design one was particularly bad in my opinion, and I really didn't like it. That's not why I gave it away. It was someone wanted it, so I gave it to them. And this one, last one, this was basically bought because I like this one so much. So I thought I'd try Yachtmaster bezel. I don't like the Yachtmaster bezel, and this has just proven to me that I don't like it on any watch, a real Yachtmaster or an Omega Seamaster Professional 300, that some of them have the Yachtmaster style dial. The new 2024 Paris Olympic one does, in gold. I mean, no matter what it's made of, what colour it is, I'm just not a fan. It looks quite good. I like the boldness of it. But yeah, I just don't really like it. After wearing this, it's just proven to me that I don't like that style of bezel. But I did like that it was black. Again, something that I wouldn't have, because that would be, if that were real, what am I saying? Anything that's black on a watch tends, if you have a black watch, it's a coating that can scratch off, and I would not go there. This has a nice graduated dial with a bit of blue on. So that whole look, although that isn't a homage of any particular watch, it's a bit of a mishmash. I actually quite like the look of it, and I still do. But it's a bit of an oddity in that really all the others were meant to look like real watches, and I wanted to see if I liked wearing them. Anyway, so that's Pagani design. Maybe got time for one more. Let's get this one over. I'll try and be a bit quicker on this one. So what's in this watch box? It is my Casio collection, or part of it. So Casio for me, originally, well, back in the day, I'd have had something like, I'm not going to do this in order, I'd have had loads of Casios back in the day. I'd have seen the Casios in the newspapers, the dailies, the daily newspapers, Sunday newspapers. Casio would have had a whole page spread on different models, or potentially maybe somewhere like Dixon's would have had an advert with certain models, and I'd have cut them out. You know, I had them in my pocket when I was bunking off school, drooled over them, gone up to Dixon's to look at them, gone to Oxford Street and looked at them. And I'd have bought a fair few of them. I did have a calculator watch. It would have been a black one. But I bought this blue one just because it was different. I didn't see the point. They're so different to what I remember anyway. I mean, this is tiny. This is so small. I'm not even going to put on, but look at that. This is so small. I can't believe... You think for a calculator watch, it would be bigger. It would be, it could be much bigger. I don't know, maybe these being for kids, maybe, and that, there was no point in them being bigger. But all retro Casios are quite smaller, I think, a bit like a wagon wheel. They're smaller than you remember them. And so I bought this blue one with the reverse LCD. Inverted, with the inverted LCD, just because it was different. I'm probably never going to, I might wear that out one day. Might go to a red bar meeting and wear that. But yeah, I just bought it for you know, to you know, satisfy some of my younger days as a watch guy. So yeah, back in the day, loads of digital Casios. They would have all been the resin ones, normally black. I didn't really like. They came in steel as well. I never liked the steel ones. They were more expensive, and I just didn't think they looked as cool. So yeah, had Game and Watch, calculator, various functions. Really loved my Casios. I don't know where they all went. These days, however, fast forward, I'm more into the Duro. I really like the Duro. I've got several of these. The reason I've got multiple Duros is for modification. I have put a steel bracelet on one, which I don't have here. I'm not sure where that is. I've got the black, the blue. These are UK bought. There is also the Batman, which has been on a previous video. The Batman was US bought because in the UK it wouldn't have the marlin. So in the UK, well, most Duros worldwide, they have a marlin at the under the pinion and also on the case back. There must have been some copyright trademark issues in the UK, and UK ones now do not have the marlin. So when I first got these, I wasn't too keen on the marlin. I thought, oh, I don't care if it's got a marlin. But after having the ones with a marlin, I understand I don't want one without a marlin. So then I noticed that the ones in the US did still have a marlin. So I ordered one from Amazon US and it was fine. So I now have, as has been on a previous video, I now have a Batman marlin as well. These, as I say, were bought for modifying. The reason I've got more than one was bought for modifying. These have some watch gecko straps on. I've got a bracelet that I've mentioned, an aftermarket bracelet, which such a shame that Casio do not make this watch with a bracelet, because I think that it is a really good look. Let's get that centered. One more, yeah. So I've got sapphire crystals to go in these. I haven't got around to doing that yet. I am also going to oil fill one and see how that goes. So there's a couple of modifications, three modifications I want to do to these, which is why I've got, so if I mess it up, at least I've still got one that I can wear. That's those. Then lastly, moving on to the Edifice range. So I bought this ages ago. It was a good deal. I think it was 61, 62 pounds. As I say, you know, I've got a history with Casio, so I do love the brand. I think Nico's right. They are god tier brand for me. So much respect for me as a watch guy. Swatch would have been at a similar time, a little bit later than these, but I never really got into Swatch. I didn't like swatches. They don't really do it for me, particularly apart from the Moon swatch. But yeah, Casio generally, I really do love the brand. You've got the Japanese owned, the JEM, Japanese only market, JEM. Anyway, the ones that you can only buy in Japan. Yeah, I haven't, you got the, what have you got? You've got the Orianus. I've been tempted to do that, but never done that. But yeah, I bought this Edifice. Absolutely love it. Bought it because of the color. I love blue and silver. I love the squares on the rehalt there, the little square. I love the fact that it doesn't have parts of second or parts of minute, but it'd be parts of second really when it's done, isn't it? Parts of second markers, which are absolutely pointless. So it's nice and clean. I like the design. I don't normally like white date windows, but it kind of goes with this. And I think that date window is pretty unobtrusive. The way it's been designed in there, it's a nice font on the numeral. Love the hands, love the orange. I love so much about this. I had to get it and try it, and I really do love it. I might try and get a crystal for this, actually, pop a sapphire on, because this one is already scratched. I do wear this quite a bit. This one is already scratched. So yeah, really good value. And as with all Casios, I find, you know, on average, hits the second hand hits the markers really, really well. So love this. And that led on to the last one. I'm going to try and squeeze in for a almost 20-minute video. Watchfinder did a thing on, I think it was like $100 watches. And they mentioned this one, the Edifice Chrono. They had it in black, in blue. I couldn't get it in blue, which I would have preferred because I love blue. as you can see, they're all blue, apart from this. This one I would have got in blue, and that one I bought in black, just because I already had the blue. I couldn't get the blue, so, you know, there's a lot of silver going on here. So I think black and silver, although I'm not massively into black watches, when it's got this much silver on it, you know, it's a black silver watch, not a black watch. I quite like I'm not sure what finish that is on the bezel. It's like a two-tone finish on the bezel, but I quite like that. I like that it's a chamfered bezel, and I like that it's a huge watch. You know, it's a really big watch. I've mentioned this before, so I won't go over it too much, but it's incredibly chunky. It's got like what I call a predator clasp. It's oversized. It almost has, you know, it looks like it's got two lugs there. So it's a predator / alien type feel that I'm getting from this. It's nice and big. It's a quartz. What have we got? Let's start that chronograph. So it's a quartz, so it ticks both in the subdial for the seconds and the second hand for the chronograph, rather than being a mecha quartz, which I didn't mention. The Pagani design chronograph is a mecha quartz on the chrono. It's not a mecha quartz on the subdial, but it is on the chrono, which means it looks like it sweeps, although it's quartz. And this one has a nice feature of, so you can obviously stop it, and you know, if I reset that now, it'll go back. But if we just keep it going, it actually has a sort of a semi flyback. Let me see that semi flyback feature. So you don't have to stop it to reset. You can reset as it's going. So like kind of a bit of a flyback thing. Yeah, you know, nice and wide. I can't remember what the dimensions are, but it's really chunky everywhere. And you know, I like it. It's not particularly thick, so it doesn't have you know, I have a lot heavier watches than this, which, you know, I can show you in another state of the collection video. Has interestingly has a safety clasp and pushers, which is a bit confusing, but eventually you remember how to get it off. Yeah, you know, that's kind of, you know, that's a couple of watch boxes there. I hope, Simon, hope you've liked seeing those. I'll do another one at some point. Let's close up the box. Let me know what you think of those. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Or if I've got something wrong or something I forgot to say, again, let me know in the comments below. Well, yeah, that's it for now. One wrist, live it.